'Twas a long time ago, longer now than it seems, in a place that was full of chaos and memes. For the video you are about to be shown ranked songs from a Disney film, very well known. Now you've probably wondered what song's number one, and if you haven't, I'd say it's time you begun. Hello everyone. Today I want to tell you about The Nightmare Before Christmas. Well, actually talk about it, because, for real, I don't think I need to tell you what Nightmare Before Christmas is. Everyone already knows why it's one of the greatest holiday movies ever made. Yes, I said holiday, I'm not picking a team. But I think we can all agree that it's one of the greatest animated movies of all time. I mean, it's one of my favorites at least, from its timeless story to its spectacular animation and iconic cast of characters. But today, I'm here to talk about my favorite thing about this movie, the soundtrack. In my opinion, this is the musical magnum opus of famous composer Danny Elfman. Tim Burton's main Music Man's work hasn't always clicked with me. As distinctly spooky as he sounds, his scores wouldn't rank among my all-time favorites. However, Nightmare is not only the biggest exception to this, but it's also the perfect showcase of one of Elfman's most underappreciated talents, his songwriting. Die-hard fans will probably point to his band Oingo Boingo as a primary example, but when Elfman gets to write songs for films, they are truly something else. And not only did he go hard on almost all of these songs, but he wrote them before the movie even had a script. That's insane, right? But enough rambling. Today we're looking at 11 songs, and the best part is that all of them are good songs, so there's no way people will get mad at the placements on this list, right? Alright, let's jump in. It's always a sad thing whenever the finale of any musical is ranked as the weakest song. While the movie itself has a very satisfying ending, the music accompanying it is just a decent, short reprise mashup of previous songs with nothing memorable or even noteworthy about it. Anyway, fine song, moving on. The first half of Making Christmas is amazing. The rest of the song is just fine. The most notable thing about this song is how it uses the popular motif of the Dies Irae, which is a recognizable motif that many composers have used in their music to symbolize death. So Elfman put this motif throughout the song to show how the people of Halloweentown who think they're making Christmas are actually killing it. There are so many little things in this scene that I love, like them laying down the tables to the beat of the song, the clown whipping the chain on the saw to mimic the sound of a cymbal, the band leader trapped in the pillory, the way this little devil guy says, "It's time to party." Ooh, so good! The reason why I didn't rank this any higher is because most of the song is dedicated to this montage flipping back and forth between Halloween and Christmastown. It's a fun montage to be clear, but it does make the song feel less consistent as a result. Also, the ending maybe isn't all that memorable, except for Jack's final line, which just wraps it all up so nicely. This is a great scene and song, but I'll skip the montage the next time it comes up on my holiday playlist. At least, when I'm not driving, because phones plus cars equals crashes.
What have I done?
Stop motion is so cool and definitely deserves more love, but man, is it painful sometimes. Like, those poor animators must have had a nightmare of their own trying to handle the physics of Jack's torn up Santa outfit.
People who do this for a living deserve more credit and respect!
Anyway, I have less to say about poor Jack than I do with Jack's other songs. This one to me feels like the inverse of Making Christmas, where this time the first half is just okay, but the rest of the song is amazing. It starts off slow, which is understandable since Jack feels defeated after realizing that he ruined Christmas, but it just doesn't leave much of an impact as that bombastic second half. Speaking of which, the compositions here are arguably the least memorable in the movie, at least for me, but this song really shines in the lyrics and Elfman's performance. The moment when he rips off the suit and reclaims his title of the Pumpkin King? Hot damn. Also, I love how quickly he bounces back from his failures instead of wallowing in misery for the whole song. Yeah, it's still a movie and Jack still needs to stop the villain in order for the story to wrap up, but that doesn't make the main theme of his song any less meaningful. Great song, just not Jack's greatest song.
Something sus with Jack, something sus with Jack.
Alright, now we're really kicking things into high gear. Jack's Obsession has an instantly catchy opening, followed by our King of the Patch trying to make sense of his new hyperfixation. This is where Danny Elfman gets to flex the hardest with his performance. Chris Sarandon did a great job providing the speaking voice for Jack, but he's maybe a little too soft in most of his line deliveries, and doesn't quite have that dramatic flair that Elfman brings whenever Jack sings. Now, when I say dramatic flair, I obviously mean that as an understatement, not just in the vocals, but in the movements. Jack's in a confined space for most of the song, but he uses that space and what's around him masterfully as the song builds. from simply pacing the room at the start to sliding his library ladder bell style and dancing with his tree by the end. As a musical theater performer, I love how they animated Jack in this sequence, and they gave my boy an iconic song with great rhymes and compositions to match. Okay, do you want to know what my biggest problem is with the town meeting song? It has nothing to do with the music or the lyrics. Those are both excellent. It's the name. Like, they seriously couldn't come up with anything better? Why didn't they just drop the song part of the name and just call it Town Meeting? I can excuse this for some of the characters in their songs, but this is just lazy, which is something that cannot be said about the song itself. Yeah, despite its uninspired name, the Town Meeting is one of the highlights of the movie. The misconceptions about the simplest things associated with Christmas make for some fun moments with the townspeople, like the creature from the Black Lagoon upside down, Mr. Hyde and the tiny clones in his hat, the little devil guy being like, "A pox, how delightful a pox." I love this little demon. And of course, it all culminates with Jack, in a desperate attempt to get through to these simple folk, cleverly twisting the narrative of the ruler of this Christmas land into a frightening, deep-voiced red flying monster.
And they call him Sans.
So iconic. Overall, this song is so good that I can almost forgive its lazy title. Almost. Kidnap the Santa Claus is so much fun. Lock, Shock, and Barrel are crafty, cunning, and mischievous characters, and their absurd plans to catch this big red lobster man are so delightfully twisted. However, despite the eerie compositions and creative lyrics, my favorite thing about this song is the performances. The late Paul Reubens shines in a small voice role as Locke, but Catherine O'Hara and Danny Elfman get to double down in this movie as Shock and Barrel, respectively. Or triple down in Elfman's case. Voice acting multiple characters is common in cartoons, but rarely do we get to hear it in animated films. So I applaud this movie for pulling it off effortlessly. Once again, the little details here are neat touches, like Barrel pulling out the straws that look like bones, licking the lollipop to attract the bug to the trap, and the ammo box filled with fireworks. Oh, I can't! The attention to detail is so good! However, one thing I noticed and have to question is, why do we keep seeing Barrel getting abused by his two cohorts? You think they would all be fighting each other, but no, it's just Barrel who keeps getting targeted. That's not cool. Anyway, iconic song, but next time, please stop hurting Barrel. That makes me sad. I have to be completely honest here. I've always found This Is Halloween to be just a little overrated. Now, that doesn't mean I hate this song. I mean, look how high it ranked on this list. It's just one of those cases of a song from a movie becoming so popular to the point of being overplayed. And when that movie is a beloved holiday classic, it's only inevitable that people will hear it annually on multiple occasions. But putting aside the hundreds of times I've heard this song out in public every fall, this is one of the best openings in animation history. I love the lyrics, the unconventional song structure, the visuals, the 2D animated ghosts, smashing pumpkins, the foreshadowing of Oogie's silhouette in the moon, and of course, the ending where Jack Skellington, in his true form, rises out of the fountain. I have to ask though, how come when the song ends, Halloween also ends? Like, is this seriously all they do every year? Just one big song number and that's it? Well, no wonder Jack got so tired of his own holiday. Whatever, it's a minuscule complaint I have with an otherwise excellent song.
What's this? What's this? There's color everywhere.
Hey, so, you know the song What's This? Well, it's the only song in the movie that Danny Elfman wrote in a major key, while the majority of the score and the soundtrack are written in a minor key. I should really get some musical training. Anyways, what's this? I'll tell you what it is. A fun song, that's what it is. I can see why so many people call this their favorite song in the movie, even over the insanely popular This Is Halloween. This song fills me with the same joy that Jack feels when he sees this town for the first time. I already brought this up, but the major chords in this song make a wonderful contrast with most of the minor chords found in the soundtrack. And of course, it's complemented by, in my opinion, the best animated sequence in the entire movie. The burst of color after only previously spending time in the muted and dreary Halloween town. The fact that there are penguins in this town, Jack snowboarding on a toboggan, oh my god, so much fun. If you couldn't tell by now, I love the attention to detail the animators put into this movie, and I think this song is where that shines the brightest. I could gush about this song and this scene for hours, but we have 3 more songs to cover, so let's move along, shall we?
Well.
Oogie Boogie might not have the most screen time compared to some of the other great Disney villains, but do you know what he has over other villains in that category? He has a villain song. Nay, a great villain song. Nay again, one of the best villain songs in animation history. I find it so hilarious how in a movie full of creepy looking freaks, the most evil creature of all is a walking talking burlap sack. But this jazzy song makes a clear case as to why Oogie is the meanest guy around, and if you were on his boogie list, you better get out of town. I know I said What's This was the best animated sequence in the movie, but Oogie's song is a very close second. I love the neon and blacklight casino design of his lair. But of course, the real star here is the late Ken Page, delivering a frighteningly fun performance as Oogie spins, scares, and verbally assaults Santa. If this is not a delightfully bonkers idea for a villain song, then I don't know what is. When I was writing this video and looking at other rankings for these songs, I was surprised to see Sally's song not ranked so low on these lists. I always heard that this was widely considered the weakest song in the movie, but I guess I was proven wrong, and I'm so glad that I was, because her song is beautiful. I guess I can understand why some people wouldn't like Catherine O'Hara's singing voice, but come on, who are you expecting? A Disney princess? Sally is the most tragic character in Halloween Town and she deserves her melancholic song, damn it! Her terrible upbringing and home life have been defined by isolation and poor treatment from her creator. Even when she escapes, she still feels insecure about herself and doesn't feel a connection with anyone in town. Except for Jack, who she's always had feelings for, but because of her shyness and insecurities, never gets to express these feelings until she's completely by herself. And accompanied by the town band, but hey, at least she gets to vent to someone. It's not like Meg's song in Hercules where the muses rudely barge into her little soliloquy. Sally's love song is all her own, and she's not hiding how she feels. Well, I wouldn't call it a love song in the traditional sense. She's singing about her feelings for Jack, but it's also about the fear of being rejected and the fear that someone you love will do something reckless. Not only that, it briefly touches on the fear of not feeling belonged. Sally wants to feel like she's welcome in the town, even after believing she couldn't after the doctor planted that idea in her head. But she knows that their plans for Christmas will lead to something disastrous. Of course, that's not the main point of this song, but it plays a big role in why it's so powerful. What this song lacks in grand compositions and stunning visuals, it more than makes up for with raw, genuine emotion. I don't even mind how short it is. It's simple, straightforward, and to the point, and I don't think I would change a thing about it. I like the multiple covers that many artists have done for this song, but for me, the original will always overshadow them. However, it was still beaten out for the top spot on this list by... Oh, Disney sure does love its I Want songs. Part of Your World, I Just Can't Wait to Be King, Out There, Go the Distance, whatever the hell that song from Wish was. All of these songs, except that last one, are considered beloved classic songs from both animation fans and musical fans alike. But for me, these iconic songs pale in comparison to Jack's Lament. Much like my previous song ranking, the number one spot was a foregone conclusion for me. Jack's Lament is my favorite Disney I Want song because it's the anti-want song. I mean, think about it. These songs, as good as they are, primarily focus on the desires that drive our misunderstood main characters and their motivations until their stories end with being admired by everyone around them. But with Jack, everyone worships him. He's the local celebrity of Halloween Town, so what more could he want? Well, fame comes with a price. No one in this town truly knows him as a person, and all the praise he receives doesn't mean much to him anymore. After years of doing what he knows best and bringing people the same thing they love about him, creative burnout finally catches up, leaving him in a miserable state, with no one to vent to except his deceased pet. Oh, the life of a tortured creative. Halloween Town is in desperate need of a therapist. This is something that me, and I think a lot of other creators can resonate with, and is a big reason why Jack is my favorite character. But putting aside what this song means to me personally, this cleverly written and wonderfully composed song is brought to life by easily the most famous sequence in the entire movie. There's not a ton of unique details to point out, aside from the ghost jumping out of the pumpkins or how cool it looks when Jack takes off his head, but none of that is more impressive than the moment where Jack walks down Spiral Hill. There's a reason why it's become this movie's most iconic and recognizable image. This is my favorite scene in the movie, and one of my favorite scenes to come from the medium of animation. It's for all these reasons and more why Jack's Lament is easily one of my favorite Disney songs of all time, and my number one favorite song from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Thanks for watching, and happy holidays.